Hello everybody! Today we are going to read a very exciting book called The Very Fairy Princess by Julie Andrews and Emma Walton Hamilton. Let's go! Hi, I'm Geraldine. I'm a fairy princess. You may not believe me, but I can tell you that I am. I know that I'm a fairy princess because I feel it inside. A sparkly feeling of just knowing it in my heart. Also, I do everything that fairy princesses do. The first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is put on my crown. Fairy princesses are always presentable. You never know who you might bump into, even on the stairs. For breakfast, I have fairy pancakes with extra fairy dust on top. Yum! Fairy princesses have very refined taste. Then it's time to choose my royal attire for the day. The big decision is which dress to wear. Pink and white, pink and purple, pink and red, or just pink. My brother, Stuart, says fairy princesses don't wear sneakers and don't have scabby knees. I say sneakers help me practice my flying skills, especially when we're late for the school bus. And scabs are the price you pay. Fairy princesses are very practical. My best friend, Delilah, doesn't believe that I'm a fairy princess. I say you can be whatever you want to be. You just have to let your sparkle out. For instance, I tell her, you sparkle when you play the trombone. Fairy princesses are very supportive. Flying is not allowed in class, so at school I hang my wings up in my cubby. Besides, they get squished in morning meeting. My teacher, Miss Pym, says fairy princesses don't fidget or interrupt. But how else can you be on the lookout for problems to solve? Sometimes you have to speak up, like when our class pet, Houdini the hamster, escapes. Fairy princesses know when to take charge. My favorite classes are art and music. That's when I can really let my sparkle out. I use lots of glitter, sequins, and feathers when I paint. Sometimes there's just not enough space on the wall for all my pictures. Fairy princesses like to keep extra gifts on hand for special occasions, like when Grandma comes to visit. All fairy princesses love to sing. Once in a while, I get carried away, and Mr. Higginbottom reminds me there's only room for one conductor in the chorus. The absolute best time of the week is when I have ballet after school. I wear my fluffy tutu and twirl and whirl and leap, light as a feather. Occasionally my crown gets in the way, but I'm working on that. Fairy princesses know that practice makes perfect. Back at home, it's time for my fairy snack. Pink lemonade and sugar cookies with extra sprinkles. Double yum. Then it's into the garden I go to attend to my royal duties. Like rescuing frogs, you never know when one might be a prince. Building little houses for my fellow fairies and exercising my unicorn. Mom calls me in for my bath. She says fairy princesses don't have dirty fingernails. I say it's the price you pay for having so many responsibilities. I have to remove my crown to shampoo my hair, but I make one out of bubbles just to tide me over. Fairy princesses are very creative. Stuart says fairy princesses shouldn't watch TV before they're done with their homework. I say even a fairy princess needs a break to keep her sparkle from sagging. Besides, how else can you keep up with the fairy news of the day? Daddy knows I'm a fairy princess. When he comes home from work, he always says, "How's my little princess today?" So that's all right. Being a fairy princess can be very demanding. Sometimes it's all I can do to stay awake through dinner. Fairy princesses need lots of beauty sleep to recharge their sparkle. Daddy carries me to bed. Mommy tucks me in. Sweet dreams, Jerry, they whisper from the door. You'll always be our very fairy princess. The end.
Hi, my name is Amanda Bach, and I will be reading the book Peep the Cat, The Wheels on the Bus, based on the creation of James Dean. We will be singing this book. Please sing along at home. The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round all day long. The horn on the bus goes beep, 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 beep. The horn on the bus goes beep, beep, beep all day long. The wipers on the bus go swish, 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 swish. The wipers on the bus go swish, swish, swish all day long. The signals on the bus go blink, 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 blink. The signals on the bus go blink, blink, blink all day long. The motor on the bus goes vroom, 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 vroom. The motor on the bus goes vroom, vroom, vroom all day long. The door on the bus goes open and shut, open and shut, open and shut. The door on the bus goes open and shut all day long. The kiddies on the bus say, come on, Pete, come on, Pete, come on, Pete. The kiddies on the bus say, come on, Pete, all day long. The driver on the bus says, move on back, move on back, move on back. The driver on the bus says, move on back all day long. Pete's friends on the bus say, sit with us, sit with us, sit with us. Pete's friends on the bus say, sit with us all day long. The back of the bus bumps up and down, up and down, up and down. The back of the bus bumps up and down all day long. The kiddies on the bus go, Pete the cat, Pete the cat, Pete the cat. The kiddies on the bus go, Pete the cat, all day long. The dog on the bus goes, woof, 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 woof. The dog on the bus goes, woof, 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 all day long. The cats on the bus shout, let's rock out, let's rock out, let's rock out. The cats on the bus shout, let's rock out, all day long. The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round all day long. All day long, all day long. The end.
Hi, my name is Aarushi Bafna, and I'm going to be reading Dumbo with a little special guest star. This is Walt Disney's Dumbo. The circus had rested all winter, but now spring had come. The performers were rehearsing their new acts, and everyone was looking forward to touring the country. But many of the animals had more to look forward to than just performing. They were particularly excited because they were expecting a delivery from the stork. It happened in the middle of the night. A flock of storks, each with a little bundle in its beak, caught sight of the circus train below. From the sky, the storks all dropped the bundles with baby animals inside. The bundles drifted down by parachute. The bear got 2 babies. The kangaroo got 1 baby. The hippopotamus got 1. The giraffe got 1. And the tiger family got 3. Everyone was happy. Well, not everyone. Mrs. Jumbo didn't get a baby, and she was sure that it was her turn. The next morning, the circus train was ready to leave. Poor Mrs. Jumbo was still looking up for the sky. She thought her stork had forgotten about her. "All aboard!" called the ringmaster, and the train took off. On a small cloud, a stork was sitting, studying a map, looking for the circus. He had 1 more baby to deliver. His bundle was so heavy that it almost fell through the cloud. Suddenly, he spotted the circus train. A moment later, he landed on top of it. "Mrs. Jumbo!" he called. "Yoo-hoo! Over here!" a female elephant said. They put their trunks up through a hatch in the roof. The stork jumped down to the elephants, and Mrs. Jumbo received her bundle. "What's his name?" asked the stork. "Jumbo Jr.," replied Mrs. Jumbo. Mrs. Jumbo was so happy. She just couldn't wait to see what was inside the package. When the bundle was opened, everyone thought the baby was adorable. Then he sneezed, and his ears came tumbling down around him. "Oh, is it possible?" asked one of the elephants. "Isn't there some mistake? Just look at those ears!" The other elephants laughed. Mrs. Jumbo stepped in to defend her baby. One of the other elephants was very mean and said that the baby looked so dumb that he should just be called Dumbo. Mrs. Jumbo stopped paying attention to what they were saying. There was nothing wrong with her baby. She took her tired little son and rocked him to sleep. In the middle of the night, the train arrived at its first stop. Even though the rain was pouring down, the strong men and the big elephants began the tough work of getting the tent up. The next afternoon, the entire circus paraded through town. The proud ringmaster rode in front on a white horse. At the end of the line was Dumbo, with a small doll on his back. He was very excited, but unfortunately, he slipped on one of his big ears and fell into a puddle. Later, a group of boys teased Dumbo about his ears. Mrs. Jumbo was very angry. She lifted one of the troublemakers up, put him over the rope barrier, and slapped him on his backside with his trunk. "Hey, cut that out!" the boy yelled. "Help!" But Mrs. Jumbo just grew more upset. All the circus people rushed in with ropes to try to stop Mrs. Jumbo. Soon, Mrs. Jumbo was chained to the wall in a train car, all by herself. She felt as if she were in jail. Worst of all, she couldn't see Dumbo. All the other elephants were sure that Dumbo was to blame. They thought he brought misfortune to the circus. They turned their backs on him. Dumbo went outside. He was very sad. He felt all alone in the world. Timothy, a circus mouse, had seen and heard everything. "Poor little guy," he said. Then he decided to do something about it. He marched right up to the elephants. "Ah!" they screamed when they saw the mouse. Timothy found Dumbo hiding in a haystack. "Hey, Dumbo, you can come out now," said Timothy. "I'm your friend." Using a peanut, Timothy tried to tempt Dumbo to come out. "I think your ears are beautiful," Timothy told him. As the new friends walked past the ringmaster's tent, they overheard a conversation. "Have I got an idea," said the ringmaster. "One elephant climbs on top of another elephant until finally all 17 elephants have constructed an enormous pyramid of pachyderms. And now comes the climax." But the ringmaster couldn't think of a climax. He hoped it would come to him in a dream, so he went to bed. Suddenly, Timothy had an idea. When the ringmaster was fast asleep, Timothy sneaked into the tent and crawled up to his bed. Timothy hid under the sheet, leaned towards the ringmaster's ear, and whispered, "I am the voice of your inspiration. Now concentrate." "Now you are getting that climax," Timothy continued. "And who is it? The little elephant with the big ears, Dumbo." The ringmaster awoke with a start. "I've got it! I've got it!" he said. All day long, the elephants practiced. Finally, It was time for the big show. They succeeded in bouncing on top of each other. "Ladies and gentlemen," the ringmaster shouted, "I give you Dumbo!" A drumroll echoed from the orchestra. Dumbo ran toward the springboard with a small flag in his trunk. But poor Dumbo slipped on his ears again and slammed into the ball that the elephants were balancing on. The pachyderm pyramid collapsed, and so did the circus tent. The audience fled. Back in the elephant's train car, a female elephant told the others the latest news about Dumbo. "Well, they've gone and made him a clown." "Oh, the shame of it," said an elderly female elephant. "Let us take a solemn vow. From now on, he is no longer an elephant." And the bruised and bandaged elephants once again turned their backs on little Dumbo. Dumbo was indeed a clown. He had to pretend to be a baby, jumping from a burning house. The clowns were pretending to catch him, but he landed in a tub filled with whipped cream. The clowns in the audience thought it was great fun. Dumbo didn't think so. He was very unhappy. Timothy comforted him and helped him wash off the whipped cream. To cheer Dumbo up, Timothy said, "Come on, we're going to see your mother." The two friends headed over to the train car where Mrs. Jumbo was still in chains. Mrs. Jumbo recognized her son's trunk at once, and Dumbo was overjoyed. Timothy looked on, proudly. Through the bars, Mrs. Jumbo was able to cuddle her little son and give him a swing in her trunk. At the same time, there was a party going on in the clown's tent. They were so happy with their new fireman's act that they celebrated late into the night. Meanwhile, after a long day, Dumbo was exhausted. He dreamed that he was flying. The next morning, Dumbo and Timothy awoke to the noise from some crows above them. My, I can't believe my eyes," said one crow. He was looking at Dumbo and Timothy. They were up in a tree! "Dumbo," Timothy whispered, "I think we're up in a tree." Dumbo's eyes widened. He looked down and lost his balance. Splash! They landed in the middle of the pond. The crows laughed and laughed at the very wet pair. "I wonder how we got up in that tree anyway," said Timothy. "Hey, maybe you flew up," teased one of the crows. "That's it!" Timothy exclaimed. "Dumbo, you flew! Your ears! Why, they're perfect wings!" They went up to a cliff. The crows suggested using a magic feather to help make Dumbo think he could fly. "Let's go, Dumbo," said Timothy as Dumbo ran. "Faster! Faster!" Soon he was flying! "Look! You're flying! You're flying!" cried Timothy. "Wait till we get to the big town." For that night's clown act, the burning house was built higher than ever. A drum roll began. Timothy, who was sitting in Dumbo's hat, whispered, "Dumbo, you're on the threshold of success." Dumbo jumped, and the magic feather accidentally flew away. Timothy panicked. "Open your ears," he told Dumbo. "You can still fly. The feather was just a gag." Just before Dumbo hit the ground, he spread his ears and they sailed through the air. People shouted in surprise and applauded. They had never seen a flying elephant before. The clowns jumped into the tub as Dumbo passed by. Now Dumbo was famous. Best of all, the circus workers released Mrs. Jumbo from her chains. She was so proud of her famous son. Now Dumbo had his very own train car, which he shared with his mother. And Timothy, of course. The end. And that was Dumbo.